Welcome back, dear students. So let's continue with exercise 10C on direct and inverse variation. So question number 9 says 16 boys went to the canteen to have tea and snacks together. The bill amounted to rupees 114.40. What will be the contribution of a boy who pays for himself and 5 others? Okay, so basically think of a situation where you and your friends are going to a canteen, okay, and there are exactly 16 people going to the canteen, and amount the bill turns or comes out to be this much. Okay, now obviously all of you have to pay equal amount here, isn't it? Okay, so here there's a boy who wants to pay for himself and 5 others. So basically he is paying for how many people? He is paying for 6 people, right? So question is asking what will be the contribution of that particular boy. That means how much he needs to pay from this bill. He is paying for 6 people, remember that. Okay, so 16 boys pay for bill. How much? This much. Now let's see how much one boy has to pay. Okay, so one boy, obviously he needs to pay less amount, no? So whenever there is less amount, you have to divide by the number. Okay, now you want the bill for how many boys? For 6 boys, isn't it? So see, when you simplify this, this will be 7.15. So this is the contribution of one boy. Now you want to find the contribution of a boy and 5 others. So altogether it is 6, right? So the contribution of 1 is this much. So that's why the contribution of 6 will be this into 6. Okay, so when you multiply, you get the contribution to be rupees 42.90. Pause the video and note down your solution. Alright, so we have next question number 10, which says 50 laborers can dig a pond in 16 days. How many laborers will be required to dig another pond double in size in 20 days? Okay, so understand the situation carefully here. So in 16 days for digging a pond, how many laborers are required? You need 50 laborers. Okay, now let's see, in one day, if you want to finish digging that pond, obviously we need more number of laborers, isn't it? So earlier it was 50, so this time it has to be 50 into 16. So if you want to have more laborers, you have to multiply, remember. Okay, now we got 50 into 16 laborers, right? But we are working for 20 days. Okay, so the number of laborers required in 20 days will be, now in one day if you get this much labor, okay, in one day if you need this much labor, then in 20 days you need less labor, isn't it? So that's why less means you have to divide by the number of days. So these many people are required to dig a pond in 20 days. But if you increase the pond by 2 times, that means if you make the size of a pond double, obviously the number of laborers will also get doubled, isn't it? So that's why in 20 days with double work, labor required will be, this is already there, so there we will multiply by 2. Simplify this, you get this to be 80. That means you need 80 laborers to dig a pond of double size in 20 days. So pause the video and note down your solution. Alright, so the last question for the day. So if 3 men or 6 boys can finish a work in 20 days, that means if only 3 men works, they finishes a work in 20 days, or if 6 boys work for the same instead of 3 men, they can also finish the work in 20 days. So basically, what is the meaning of this? This means that capacity of 3 men is equal to capacity of 6 boys, isn't it? So that's why if 4 men and 12 boys work together, okay, so you remember 6 boys is equals to 3 men, right? So that's why 12 boys is equivalent to how many men? It is equivalent to, if 6 boys are equivalent to 3 men, then 12 boys will be equivalent to double. So the double of 6 is 12, right? So if the number of boys is double, the number of men should also be doubled. So you get 3 into 2, that is 6. Okay, so 4 men and 12 boys working together means what? 4 men are already there and 12 boys are equivalent to 6 boys. So it's like 4 men and 12 boys working together means 4 plus 6, 10 men working together. Okay, right. So it is given that 3 men can finish the work in 20 days. So that means 1 man can finish the work in more number of days, isn't it? So that's why it has to be multiplied. So 20 into 3 days. Now if 1 man can finish in 20 into 3 days, then we have 10 men, isn't it? So that's why 10 men can finish the work in, this is already there, so it divide this by 10. So you get here 6 days. If 10 men can finish the work in 6 days, it means that the number of days to finish the work by 4 men and 12 boys, because you know 10 men is equivalent to 4 men and 12 boys, and the required number of days turns out to be 6 in this particular problem. Okay, very important problem as per your competitive examinations. So you may pause the video and note down your solution. Thank you very much.